for Ann Romney, but for what Ann Romney represents, a woman who chooses a lifestyle wherein she is at home, she creates a very nurturing environment, she invests in those qualities stereotypically considered feminine, and she focuses on child rearing. I think that that really irks this woman.
Now, I think that a lot of women can relate to feeling, you know, despite themselves, the need to downplay or denigrate another woman's choice because they feel so guilty about their own choice. But you actually suggest it goes beyond that for her. There is a hatred. You use the word despise in your piece about how she must feel about stay-at-home moms. Where do you get that from?
You know what? I think that this is a gut-level thing for her, and it speaks also to her connection to the Obama administration, because it seems to me that if you can't class yourself, if you can't see yourself as a disenfranchised, put upon segment of the community, whether it be because of your lifestyle choice or because of your background in terms of feeling as though you were prejudiced against or stigmatized, those are the people that the president seems to speak for, and this woman seems to want to speak for, Hilary. And so for those women who say, no, I actually feel okay with what has been the traditional way that America was formed. You know, women had been at home, men had been the breadwinners. I don't feel crushed by that. I think I can operate in that kind of world. That, I think, lights a fire inside people like Hilary Rosen, who say, well, that's what we're trying to end, that kind of terrible American traditional lifestyle, and you represent it, Ann Romney, and you're going to be my target.
Well, it's an interesting, I mean, if true, it's an interesting theory, because in particular, I think liberals pride themselves on being very tolerant and very accepting, and in particular, tolerant and accepting of alternative lifestyles. But this isn't an alternative lifestyle. It's sort of the traditional lifestyle, and your theory is that that's a problem for her.
Exactly. See, she has an alternative lifestyle, Hilary Rosen, and everyone wants to be accepting of that. However, what has happened is the tables have been turned. So those who see themselves as having been oppressed, given their lifestyle choices or their race, now look at the way America has been and demonize it. That's why the president went on an apology tour, apologizing for the bad father, apologizing for the fact that America has subjugated everyone. And so if you say, no, listen, my company's thriving in America. No, I think I can make money here. No, actually, I feel pretty good. I'm at home. I know my husband makes the money, but we have 5 kids. It's a lot of work. Those are the enemies, public enemies #1 for Hilary Rosen and Barack Obama.
You know, obviously, we don't know what's really in Hilary Rosen's head. She says, look, I was just trying to make an economic point. Mitt Romney's held her out as his economic advisor. And she says, don't tell me that she understands women's economic problems, because she doesn't have any. She says, that's all I was trying to say. I have 2 children. I wasn't trying to denigrate moms who stay at home. I was just trying to make a point that how could she be his economic advisor when she has no economic troubles? Could it be as simple as that?
Well, listen, the idea that people who have financial wherewithal have no economic stress, no economic trouble, that they're not thinking about the next generation, that they're not thinking about whether their children will thrive, #1 is folly, because I don't know anyone from any socioeconomic stratum. I know that the pressures are different, but hey, look, we're talking about a woman who has faced illness, who has had to think about whether her kids would have to say goodbye to her, who has had to think about whether her kids look at her husband and say, will I ever measure up? Look, every family has life issues they cope with. The question is, do you look at other people and say, you're less than because you decided that you'd let your husband work and support the family? That's what I really think irks Hilary Rosen. Ann Romney is the worst kind of stake through her heart, because she is a traditional woman, having been the way things used to be, let's say, who seems content. that's a psychological gauntlet thrown down to Hillary, Rosen, and Barack Obama that they must march against.
It's interesting. We had former First Lady Barbara Bush on the program yesterday. She chose to be a stay-at-home mom and wound up not only marrying a president, but raising a governor, and several other successful children. I mean, there are so many examples of stay-at-home moms who raise incredible families.
Absolutely.
And of working moms who do the same.
And listen, it's not just a gender-based thing. I have men and women in my practice, and believe me, a lot of the men, if their wives made the money that Mitt Romney has been fortunate enough and blessed enough and talented enough to make, they wouldn't go to work. They'd be walking the dog, going to hockey games, going to baseball games, and they'd be invested. Maybe they'd be writing poetry, but they sure wouldn't be on the assembly line if their wives were, Michelle Romney.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you so much, Dr. Ablow. We appreciate it.